Hello, everybody. This is Mr. B, and you're watching Music Notes. Today on Music Notes, we are going to be learning about Impact and how to create and save a preset, a drum preset. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be exploring Impact. Impact is a sampler drum pad, and it connects like intuitively with our Atom and probably other MIDI drum pads. So let's look over here and go down to the bottom browser. Go to your browser and in your instruments, let's pull up PreSonus Impact, and we'll just plop it on there. And then we have our Impact loaded right here. Now, we can change the color of this, and it's actually really easy. We just go to the little PreSonus sign in the top right, and we can just select whatever color or skin you want to have. So I'm just gonna have, let's see, something bright for everybody to view. Let's just have a nice bright green. Okay, so these are pads. There's the 16 by 16 drum pad, which is standard in music production. It comes from the Akai MPC, and many manufacturers have adopted it. It's really easy to use, and it's pretty standard. So this is the 16 banks, or 16 pads, and these are the different banks. Now, there's literally A through H of different banks that you can make for your drum kits. It seems a little excessive, but I mean, if you wanted to, I guess you could put samples on all of these banks, which is 16 times whatever that is. It's a whole lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of samples. But right now, we're just going to be using bank A. And you can change your banks to bank B, C, D, or whatever easily from right there. Okay? Okay, so now we are going to load samples into our drum pad, the XT. And we're going to color code them correctly. So the first thing I want to do is to load a kick into this section down here, which is going to be our C1 pad. And we also have a bunch of presets that come with Studio One. These are actually really good. If you select them, you can see that the kick, the snare, they're all in a specific location, and that is by design. Hat 1 and Hat 2. And we've got our kicks right here, rim, snare, and a clap. So we're going to kind of keep this as our main structure when we're making our drum pad. Okay, so I'm going to default this back to nothing. And I am going to first find some kicks. So I'm going to take a kick. I'm going to load my kick, and then this is my kick, and over here at the top right is where we can change the color of it. In this class, we're going to change our color to red. In this class, we're going to change our color to red for the kick, and the reason why is that with our Atom, we are going to have it's all going to light up, and we can color code just looking at the Atom, knowing where our drum samples are. This is super powerful in terms of being able to quickly come up with drum patterns. We're also going to relabel them. This is my kick 1, so right now it's some random sample name, and to change that, I'm going to Control click, go to rename pad, and in capital letters I'm going to rename it kick let's try that again. Oh, rename it kick 1. And I usually will have more than one kick in a drum pad. So there's my drum kick 1. Now something that I want to do before I continue is to make sure that our routing of these are connected to a specific channel. What does that mean? So we've learned in the previous lessons there's tracks and there's channels. Right now this impact is on a track and it's on one channel. Now we usually want to separate our drums when we're mixing or just even editing onto different channels. And we can easily do that by coming over here down at the bottom right of the pad. Okay, just right here, and it'll say right now everything's routed to stereo 1. I can actually change that to mono 1, which is pretty typical for like a kick or even a snare or a hi-hat. I like to keep my drums in mono, so I put my kick into mono 1. Okay, now to find some other samples. I am gonna fast forward and you're gonna see the result of me taking about 10-15 minutes to finding the samples that I like best for this drum pad, and then I'll show you how to route and save them all. Okay, so now that we've got our entire drum field filled up and labeled and color coded, you can see I have my kick 1, kick 2, snare 1, snare 2, snap, clap, hat 1, hat 2, open hi-hat, and some random sounds that are going to be just fun to play around with. Okay, so you can see like here I've got a hi-hat loop. You can have loops in there. I've got just a tom, I've got a vocal loop, and some kind of texture. So the first thing I want to show you is how to edit your samples. So for example, I've got this vocal sample. It's cool, but it's actually a little bit too long. So I'm gonna truncate it. Truncate it means trimming the edges. So just to get the sample part of your choosing. So I'm gonna truncate the back and then bring in the front. So I can just have whatever this part was, like that. And I can just use that now as a sample, which is actually really nice. One thing that we need to do is to edit all of your pads. So here's my kick. There are 3 different settings for each pad. There's a 1-shot. This is really important. There's a 1-shot, so you can hit it once and it'll just play it once. There's a loop, is when you play it and then it will loop itself. So let's look at that. Okay, let's just put, this is the tom. It's on a 1-shot. You can see every time I hit it, it'll play it 1 time. Let's put the loop on and see what that does. Now that I'm holding it down, it's gonna loop that the entire time I'm holding it down. Okay, and then if we just have it on normal, what that does is that every time I hit it and hold it, then it will be playing. So if I play it for a very short amount of time, and I'll show you more about that with, let's go to this vocal. And let me just put that on normal, and then you can see, okay. I'm only pressing it a very short amount of time. If I had it on 1-shot, then I would press it 1 time, and now it plays the entire sample. So depending on what you're using those for, those are 3 very different useful techniques for using and setting up your pads. If I'm playing like a kick, I want that on a 1-shot. If I'm playing like a sample, I probably want that on a 1-shot also. But if I'm playing like maybe some kind of 808 or synth or something else, maybe I want to have that on normal or a sample. an actual sample that I'm chopping up and putting in there. Okay, so you actually have to go to every pad and set up every one of those. You know, setting up your drum kits might be a little labor intensive, but once you save it and all the settings, you're going to have it forever. So it's important to spend that extra time to get it just right so you can use it for the duration of that you have Studio One. So I've got my kick, I've color coded it, I've labeled it. Right now it's on loop. I'm going to put it back on one shot. Okay, go to snare. I'm going to put that on one shot. It's already on one shot. Snap and clap. And snare number 2. Okay, so now we're going to go to the hi-hats. We have hi-hat 1, 2, and open. And we want one hi-hat to end as the next one begins, just like a drummer would be playing the hi-hats. Now, in order to do that, we have to put them into a group and put them into the choke group. So one will stop when the next one is played. That's called choke. And that's what an actual drummer would be doing with the hi-hats. So it's really easy to do. We're going to go to where it says choke. Let's enable the hi-hat pad. Go to choke, and we'll put it into group 1. And then we'll come over to the next hi-hat, and we'll also put that into 1, and then all of the following hi-hats. We want to store our preset. Okay, this is the most important part of making a kit, because if you just close it out and you open back up, it's not going to save. Let me say that again. If you close Studio One out, or if you just close out the session, it will not save your drum kit. So save it as a preset right now. And how we do that is that we go to this little icon, whatever this is, a little piece of paper or whatever, and we're going to go to store preset. Okay, so now we're going to name our preset. And I'll name this one Cool Kit 1. And I can have a description if I want this to be just for hip hop or genre specific or whatever. You can make a description. And what I really like is putting it into the subfolders. Now let's see if I've already made a subfolder. I have already made a subfolder. Mr. B, that's my subfolder, and your subfolder will be whatever your name is. Yeah. So all of your drum kits will be located really easy to access and in your subfolder. So now I'm just going to press OK. Now, Cool Kit 1, which is right here, I can see easily in my presets, Mr. B drum kits. Oh, I got my drum kits, and I'm starting to pile them up. So whenever I want to just boom, load up a drum kit, boom, they're all loaded up. Leaving off where we were before, remember that we saved our preset, and we can access it by simply going to whatever it was located in your presets. Okay, this is super easy to now navigate through. And we're going to edit our presets. I'm going to go back to Cool Kit 1. And the first thing I want to do is to route different pads to different channels. This is really, really important. And I'm going to route them pretty simply as kicks on one channel. So I've got kick 1 routed to mono 1. Now I'm going to go to kick 2 and route that to mono 1 as well. So they're playing on the same channel. I would probably never play them together, so it really doesn't matter. You can route them to different channels if you want, but you know, in our mix window, I don't want to have like 1,000 different channels just all spread out. Okay, so right now, look, this is going to 1, let's take this one. And actually, I'm going to collapse all of these. And let's go to the snare and route that. We just go down here to the bottom right and just click to mono 2. Okay. And you can see in my window over here, oh, it was actually connected to this one. So now here's my snare channel. This is, I'm also going to route to mono 1 and the snap to mono 1 just because they're similar enough in types of sounds. I like to have all of those on the same channel, but obviously you can route them to different channels if you wanted to or if it's necessary. Hi-hats, definitely going to route those on their own, which is going to be now mono 3, and mono 3 for the open and closed hi-hats. And all of these other like random sounds that I have, I can literally just keep those in stereo 1 for now. Oh, here's a cymbal. Maybe I want to route that to its own channel, maybe mono 4. My pluck, maybe route that to mono 5 as necessary. But, you know, when we're making drum patterns, we're really focused on 3 drums: kick, snare, and hi-hats. Toms and all the other fun stuff is added bonus. And those are really easy to route. So I'm just going to leave those into stereo 1 for now. Okay, next thing that we want to do is to play around with the pitch. Now, what does the pitch do? It will change the pitch of whatever you have on the pad. Okay, so I've got this pluck. You can hear that. Now I can change the pitch very easily, and that is really cool. I can also have that follow the tempo of the project instead of changing the pitch, which is gonna slowly. Okay, so changing the pitch will change how slow or fast your sample is moving. So look, here's my pluck, and I've lowered it all the way down to the lowest pitch. See how long it's taking for my pluck to actually finish the sample? Now, if I put that to follow tempo, right, it is also matching the tempo and not stretching out super long. So that's how you can combat that. There's also, you can fine tune it a little bit more, your pitch. There is the envelope or the ADSR, and we can adjust the attack, right? If I want my attack to be coming slower, I would just turn the A up. You can hear the difference there. Or if I want my release to feel a little bit more natural, I can turn the release up as well. Now the filter. The filter is really cool because you can filter in and out all sorts of weird and cool frequencies. And there's all of these different bands of filtering that we can do, from low pass, 24 ladder to 0 to 12, low pass to band pass, high pass, low pass, band pass, high pass at 12. This is how steep that the curves are. Remember, we don't always want a super steep, something like that, but sometimes you do. So let's just keep it. Oh, look, here's an echo filter. I'm not sure what that does. Let's find out. Okay, interesting. Oh, let's turn on the filter. This is how you turn on the filter. Make sure your filter is turned on. And now you can see I'm filtering out. a whole bunch of sound. And this is actually the frequency where it's going to start cutting. So this is a relatively high frequency sample, so you can see that it's not going to be doing too much. We have drive, which is kind of cool. Let's hear what that does to the sample. I'm gonna have to put on my headphones for that one. Ooh, okay. That definitely, like, experiment with this stuff. That, it sounds way cooler with a little bit of drive. It just pushes it up a little bit. Let's see what punch does. Okay, adds a little bit of transient punch. So it's kind of, will hit a little bit harder. That's what that seems to do. That's pretty cool. And if I press soft, or can't really see too much of a difference. Okay, so the filter is a really fun way to make your sample to the next level. And then amp is going to be like the volume. And I'm going back to my pluck. So let me just lower the pitch of my pluck. And let's put on follow tempo. Okay, and then let's just adjust some of the gain. That'll make it louder. You can pan it to the left or to the right. And then you can also adjust. Here's the attack. Okay, that's where the envelope's really gonna hit. The attack, you can see, is coming in slower there. And even the release. If I wanted that cleaner kind of exit of the sound, I would turn up the release. Okay, so the pitch, filter, and amp are all really creative tools. Remember that this is just on the plug. I can literally do the exact same thing on every single different instrument. You can really, really, like, have a whole lot of fun with doing editing for your samples. Okay, so now that you got your feet wet a little bit with Impact XT, I hope to hear some of the patterns that you make, store some of those presets, and have a lot of fun with your drum pad. Okay, thanks for watching.